Hey all, and this is Sparta's Last Stand. This is a Fire Slayer event and Chaotic Killer. So here's my main team. The idea behind this team is all the damage comes off of Blitzkrieg Beasts. It's a pretty effective team actually, sometimes doing over 12Q. You will see it in action a bit later on in the video. It's also the team I used during the previous Fire Slayer event. Then I have this basic team here, that was just for levelling up the bosses. It can deal with Karelian bosses as well though, but nothing higher. Let's talk through this team as this is the main team. So here's Blitzkrieg Beasts, 5 times awakened and 5 pink stars. You need a decent Fire Slayer Immortal Killer card for this team to work. And this is by far my best one, even though it's an older card. So it does create a few power gems as well. It's the main hitter on the team. And now to talk through the other cards. Metaverse Masters. This gives the next hero to use their battle skill a 150% boost. So you need to boost up Blitzkrieg Beasts with that card. Then Culinary Kings. This is the card with the killer skill. It's actually a pretty decent card considering it's relatively old. Creates power gems, then upgrades all the power gems as well. Heretic Hunters, this is another essential card for this team. The reason this card is essential is because it converts all the dark gems into fire gems. Then High Performance Unit Area. You need that to boost up the damage from Blitzkrieg Beasts. Has that lovely supercharged buff for Immortal Killer heroes. So yeah, it's quite a complicated team, but it is effective. It's a bit slow though, sometimes taking 4 turns to get working. Now the relics don't really matter, you can put any relics you want. Since I don't have that many chaotic killer relics, I've just gone for any colour. As you can see, that's enough to break the shields. That's why they're on the team. I don't generally spend my gems on Slayer decks. I generally spend them on Commander decks, which is why my team is like this. Then Raise Staff at the end. This is a good relic, mainly because it has a percentage increase in attack, as you can see here, 47.1%. So my first team is not exactly exciting, it's just my best Fire Slayer heroes. Quite a few Immortal Killer cards on the team you may have seen, 1 Noble Killer. So you could try Area with 3 Immortal Killer cards, then use Culinary Kings as well for the killer skill. That's an idea you could try out of older cards anyway. So I'm now going to scroll over to my Water Commander team. There's a couple of cards on this team that may help you if you have the event deck. The first one, and possibly the most important one, is the Sirens. Since this is Chaotic Killer and the event deck is Chaotic Killer, you can imagine that will boost up the cards, so that's worth trying. And you may also want to consider putting something like Black Flag Marauders on the team just to split up the power gems. Creates a lot of water power gems and upgrades them as well. So you could convert them to water, then convert them to fire afterwards. It's an idea anyway, it's worth trying. It may or may not work. I don't have the event deck, so I can't really say, unfortunately. But yeah, this is by far my best team. I will be using this for most of the event. So there we go, that's the teams I'm using for this event. I've only done 2 tiers of the Bolt. I didn't get anything exciting, so let's move on to the actual event. Here we go. So here's an Umbral boss, and here's the actual event. I have gone to the highest prestige. Let's see what I can do to this. I know it's not my own. To be honest though, Umbrals are going to be a pain to kill even with this team, so I don't know if I want too many of my own Umbrals. So let's see what I can do to this anyway. See if I can get 10% on it, or maybe even 20%. Right, so turn 1, just match anything. Turn 2, you need fire gems or dark gems, so what you can try is something like this and see what happens. And that's given enough fire gems. The problem is I now need another 2 turns, but no one is hitting this Umbral anyway. Umbrals really are a pain. So now, on turn 4, get supercharged up. You have to be aware of the turn counter. You need to use area when the turn counter is on 1 and not on 2. Made that mistake tons of times. Now this starts smashing, so turn 1, Metaverse, turn 2, Blitzkrieg, then Heretic Hunters, then Culinary Kings to finish. Right. That wasn't a massively good hit, actually. No loose power gems. So now keep an eye on that turn counter again. When it's 1, use high performance unit area again. It's quite a complicated team. You really have to concentrate while using it. There we go. All Slayer teams seem to be so awkward to use. Or all decent ones, should I say. Commander decks seem to be a lot easier to use. One of the reasons why I don't really like Slayer, if I'm being honest. There you go, there's a few loose power gems there, 3-1, so that should be a good hit. There we go, 11.9Q, that's a really good hit. Then again, keep an eye on that turn counter. When it's on 1, use high performance unit area again. And then just repeat the process, so yeah. You have to concentrate, but it's effective. Right, we get one more hit out, then the boss is probably going to die. It's important to make sure you get the activation order correct. You cannot activate in any other order other than the order I'm activating in. You must do Metaverse Masters, then your Immortal Killer card. Otherwise this simply doesn't work. Then you have to convert them, then finally Culinary Kings to boost them up. Oh, the boss almost died. I think I got 20% on that. That's my prediction. There we go, nice. And that's going to die now. So, it's one of those events with a really big Legends League. So, I'm not going to need to play this event too hard, I don't think. Which is good, as it takes a lot of concentration, as you can see. But yeah, 20% on that, that's pretty good. I might have one more go with this team. See if I can find something. I don't really want that. Clearly solo bosses. Takes ages to load between solo bosses. Let's see what comes up. Right, give me a few minutes. I'll try and find... Oh! Hold on, no I won't. There we go. That's one of my own Umbrals. So, yeah, one more go with this team. This has counter-attack on it, which isn't a big deal. Well, not really anyway. It doesn't do too much damage. Right, so here we go. Let's see what I can do to this Umbral that's my own. A proper test of the damage of this team. Right, here we go. So yeah, I need to play a bit faster, I think. Now that I know how to use the team, or should I say I've shown you how to use the team. I think Metaverse Masters on turn 2 is a good idea in case fire gems sort of drop down like this. You could probably use area at that point as well if you have it active, rather than wasting another 2 turns before using area. The counter-attack does a bit of damage. I don't think there's any revive on this team, unfortunately, so it's a bit of a problem if I do die, but The health is regenerated after using area, so it's not too bad. I've not managed to die yet. Yeah. It'll happen eventually. Right, anyway, this is going to be a pretty poor hit as there wasn't any loose power gems, unfortunately. So let's try again. Area should be active on this turn. Here we go. Use area like so. Blitzkrieg Beasts is a little bit awkward as it's a cooldown of 4 turns rather than 3. So the other cards can be used 1 turn before. I'll just show you what happens if I use in the other order. I don't think it will really work. I'm going to try it though. Yeah, it just does that, and there's no loose power gems, so the damage is pretty poor. 3.4 Q, don't use in that order. You must use in the correct order with this team. But that was just to show you what it does if you use Culinary Kings first. And you have to use Blitzkrieg after Metaverse, as that's the card you're boosting up with Metaverse. So here we go again. Let's see if I can get some loose power gems. It's all luck, basically, where these power gems spawn. That's not too bad. Unfortunately, I need to make another move. And there's no other fire gems that are loose. So, yeah, it's another poor hit, unfortunately. And I think I'm going to run out of time. Anyway, that gives an idea of what this team can do. And shows you how to use it. My damage was only 13 Q on that attack. If I had some decent matches with loose power gems, that would have done a lot more. Alright, so let's go over to the event rewards. Let's see what we have this time around. It's a Warden collection by the looks of it. So yeah, Warden related materials and actual Wardens. You don't normally get anything decent from the Wardens though, unfortunately. There we go. Haven't actually claimed anything up until this point. Let's see what Wardens I get. There'll be old Wardens, you watch. Oh, wait a sec. That's actually looking like a semi-decent Warden. Maybe I was wrong. Have they updated the Wardens? That's interesting. So yeah, that's a decent collection. I'm quite surprised, actually. I was expecting really old Wardens from that, but no. It's giving better ones now. Let's just have a quick look at what I actually got from that. I'm curious. No idea what this is. It's not one I've really seen much of. Let's see what it looks like when ascended. Yeah, not bad stats. Interesting. They've updated the Wardens that you get, so that's actually a pretty good result. You might get something decent from that collection. The Warden I got was pretty reasonable, actually, and yeah, I have an Ascended version already here. That was on my defence at some point, so yeah, it is a pretty modern Warden. Right, anyway. I'm pretty sure it's a Warden this time around. I'm going to have a quick look. As you can see, or actually I'll go back and just show you. The Legends League seems to be a lot bigger than usual. 318 in the league. It'll probably go near to 400. Sometimes it does this. Or sometimes it has 2 leagues. It's a bit weird. If there's only 1 league, like here though, I don't need to focus too much on the event, as it's normally pretty easy to stay in the league, in Legends. This has Weaken on it, so that's not a bad defender skill. The problem is Earth has a lot of weaknesses. Battle skill is interesting, increases Earth hero attack, so you can actually use that with either Slayer or Commander heroes, but it's not a very big boost. If it was 300%, then you may want to consider using that on your team, but 30% is a bit too low. But there we go, it's got Weaken on it, and Weaken's a pretty good defender skill if I'm being honest. So not a bad warden at all. So there's one thing I haven't done yet, and that is claim the random hero, so I might as well go ahead and do that. What are we going to get? Oh, that's a really old card. Gen 2 card. That was a good card back in the day, but unfortunately it's not really useful at all anymore. Gen 2 cards are quite difficult to get. You may see there's both Dommy and the card I just got, which Ozomatil, whatever it's called. Both Generation 2 cards. If you're struggling to get those, what you can do is go over to the Dust Merchant here. We scroll down. And then just purchase the random 3-star heroes. And you should be able to get both of those from that. I know you can definitely get Dommy anyway if you don't have him. That's something you can do anyway if you're struggling to get the Generation 2 heroes. They are available in the Dust Merchant. And there's something else I do want to point out. If there's anyone from the game development team that's watching this, just something that I wanted to point out. Let's go on to Generation 3. I don't really want to go on to the Generation 2 cards. If you have a look at some of these heroes, they're very difficult to evolve because these evolution stones and commander charms or even the Slayer charms are very difficult to get in a decent number. So it would be nice to have a few more of those in the game and available. That's 20 daily dungeon coins and that takes about a week to get, so yeah, it's becoming very difficult to evolve my heroes, unfortunately, and that would be something that would be nice to add, possibly to a collection, maybe? Or just as an additional reward. Alright, so let's go over to the news feed. Buy one, get one free on the Ultra Rare. That was yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't get an Ultra Rare, so I didn't get one free. Issues installing Legendary on devices with Android 12. Well, I think my other device has Android 12. This one doesn't, and it's running fine on this one. I have two devices. Unfortunately, I don't record on my other device, as the video tends to come out a bit blurry, so I use my older device for recording. This is also why it sometimes lags, but not much I could do about that. And the Commander Clash, I really enjoyed that. The Clash bosses got really difficult later on. They had a massive amount of armour on them. That made them very difficult to defeat. I think we got to the 80s or 90s. And all my cards were doing 1 damage apart from the middle one. But yeah, that was quite an interesting feature. I wouldn't mind seeing that back, especially as it gave free souls. And now if we go onto the vault and the actual ultimate form, it's Chaotic Killer, as you can see. It's quite a decent looking deck. You can get a maximum of 400% attack on itself. Passive upgrade. That's another passive upgrade. That's quite interesting. Yeah, look at those passives. Lots of upgrades on the card. So yeah, with other cards, this could do massive damage. It looks like a decent deck. And now going on to that, I do want to have another look at the decks in the season. You can see here I have enough coins to craft one card. There's not much point in me crafting one of these cards though. I need both for the ultimate form, so let's go out of here and have a look at the decks in the season. Right, so here we are in the season rewards. Go over to the Ultimates tab here. Now, which deck should you go for if you have leftover season coins? Well, let's go from top to bottom. The Water Slayer deck, Snowball Killer, Yeah, I didn't really like the look of this deck. I think this is probably one of the weakest decks. I wouldn't recommend going for that one. I'm just going to click on the Earth deck as well. This one looked okay. There's lots of ways to boost up Beast Killer. Plus it has a boost and a revive. So yeah, Water looks like the weakest deck. And then Earth's an okay-ish deck. Dark is probably the most important deck to get. You can see here, this one converts and increases self-attack. Or should I say self-damage even by 300%. That's much better than the self-attack, should I say. You can see I've got this up to 5 pink stars. I could probably get it up to 6 pink stars now, but I think I'm going to wait. The Fire Slayer deck looked pretty decent as well. So my choices would be probably either the Dark Commander deck or the Fire Slayer deck, possibly the Earth Slayer deck. The Light Commander deck was okay as well. You got 3 souls for this. It's Immortal Killer as well. So yeah, it's difficult. My preference is definitely the Dark Commander deck. I like Commander decks, so what I'm going to do here is get another soul for this, I think, and take it up to 5 pink stars. There's no point getting half of one of the other decks. It's a lot of light commander dust as well for this, but there we go, 5 pink stars. Lovely. So that should keep me kitted up for any light commander immortal killer events in the future anyway. And there we go, that marks the end of this video. I hope that was helpful. As always, if you do have any questions or suggestions regarding this, please let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to help. If you did enjoy this video, leaving a like and subscribing is always appreciated. Thank you to those that have already subscribed, and thanks for watching.